Hey beautifuls, Hannah here from Reality Awareness, of course. I'm going to do some psychic readings for us. We've just come out of the full moon ceremony and at the last little bit I was like, oh, I don't want to go yet, I'll pull some cards. And it just totally blew us away with what came out, with what came through the ceremony. I'm like, you guys saw me shuffling these cards, right? I'm like, I think I need to do some psychic readings publicly now because that was just next level. I don't know, it's just insane. Oh my God, the stuff that channels through in those ceremonies, next level powerful, tell you what. Oh my goodness. So welcome. If you guys haven't experienced a full moon ceremony, at one point you're going to have to, because they're just the next level. That one was next level. That was, that was just blowing my mind. I'm still blown away. Still blown away. All right, hang on a second. I'll just share this and then I shall be present and we shall start some psychic readings. Oh, happy full moon, by the way. It's like peak full moon at the moment. So I'm curious how you're feeling with our beautiful full moon energies. And just like I said yesterday as well, on the live stream, that we're on the last day of the Mayan calendar today. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure it is. And then tomorrow is our day out of time. And then we start a whole new cycle on Monday. So lots of new beginnings, it feels like. And that's what I was had also said yesterday, that today feels like big new beginnings for this full moon, even though the new moon is usually for new beginnings. It's like this is, yeah, it feels very new beginning sort of energy. All right, so just sharing this. This one. Perfect. All right. So, still in full moon vibe with the music. Yeah, it was so powerful, Megan, wasn't it? Oh my goodness. I'm just like, I'm still, those cards at the end, I'm like, I have to do psychic readings now because that was crazy. Oh my goodness. Hello. Hi, Leanne. Sitting outside looking at the moon. Yeah, so beautiful. So beautiful. Hey, everybody. Hi. All right, perfect. So let's jump straight into psychic readings. There's not much time left for the end of July to book a psychic reading with me. They're $97, celebrating 5 years of Reality Awareness online. So the link is in the title of this live stream. So we can start with our psychic readings. You can say, yes, please, Hannah, or yes, I would love one, or yes, please, so I can have a list of yeses, and then we shall get started. I shall intuitively tune in and pick one. All my cards are here from ceremony, so I'll just bring some over. Well, not all of them, just some of them, just some. All right, let me just bring these comments up again. All right, it's got some yes pleases coming in, of course. Okay. Okay, so I think Elena I might have read to you before, but you're jumping out at me, and also Kat, is it Kat Brown Marin? Can you please let me know if you guys have had somebody pass away recently, or just someone has passed away in the past and is like back in your awareness more so now? Like has someone sort of come back to mind or something there, like, or just being present around you strongly? For Kat even, I'll let you guys wait there. Or Elena, is there someone who you have disassociated with or created space with recently? For some reason, perhaps. Kat says, yes, I have. Yeah, so, because the mediumship deck was calling. So Kat, I see all of your thoughts. So Kat, can you please let me know who that was? So Elena, I'm not dead. And so the feeling that I was getting, Elena, was like, Elena, like this is like you sort of like, you're dead to me, like that sort of level of anger, like you're dead to me, but they're not dead. Like, do you know what I mean? But the relationship feels like that. Like it feels like something was just like this big sort of blow up and just like, fuck this shit, you're dead to me, don't want to know about it. Like, you know, that sort of a experience. So Kat said, yes, my sister. Okay, cool. Because yeah, she's really coming through. So Kat, I see all of your thoughts. Now, sometimes that can be a little bit scary because we're like, oh, do they just like hear and see everything that we're doing? It's like, yeah, they kind of do. I'm curious for Kat. So Kat, it feels like, I want to say she's very in the light, and that might seem a bit weird because, you know, we just sort of assume and think that, well, of course they're going to be in the light, and of course they're going to pass over, and of course they're going to do all the things that souls do on the other side. Well, that's not always the case. There's lots of realms in between the light and earth. There's different reasons souls stay in the between worlds. But I feel like your sister is very much in the light, and I feel like the words that you hear or the feelings that you feel, Kat, are very pure, very, very, I don't know what the right words are. I'm getting the feeling of like purity, innocence, clear. I want to say don't doubt what you're hearing and stuff, because she's very in the light, whether that's just her like now or so I'm also getting like something with her death. Like, was it a natural death? Was there something involved where, I don't know, you doubted her or something? Kat says, yeah, makes sense. Wonder if she's coming back, because I'm hearing that purity, innocence, like I'm innocent, or I was innocent, or it wasn't me, or like there's something there, or whether that's the purity and innocence, like she's coming back, right? So yeah, of course you don't have to share details if you don't want to, but it just feels like that, and it just feels like, can you trust the senses that you're feeling as well about a situation? Her death was through her own hand. Okay, cool, right? Well, not cool, but I was like confused. I was feeling that sort of, yeah, that sort of purity, like essence, clarity, like in that sort of sense of like, I'm innocent, or I didn't do it, or I didn't do wrong, or something like that. And I wonder if she's holding guilt about it, you know, which souls who take their own life usually do feel that when they see on the other side of what they could have done differently, but they don't see that here. And then they hold guilt or regret. And so it feels like she has sort of gone to the light, though. It's interesting. And it's interesting that you feel that sense where she, you wonder if she's coming back. Like, it just feels like, I want to say like her path has done her, I want to say her soul learned fast or something. And I know that doesn't really make sense, because like we're all growing in different evolution, but in a sense of like, so they say, right, that we have 5 exit points over the time of our life, like of our lifetime. There's 5 exit points, meaning there's 5 times where our soul has chosen that we could either commit suicide or be killed in a car accident or by something else, right? They're exit points that if we're like, nah, I'm done, like we choose to leave at one of these points, right? The other thing about the exit points is that if we choose to stay, sometimes it can feel like death. We go through a really dark night of the soul. There's hard portals and stuff that we go through in our life, or just situations and events, I mean, and it's a really hard time for us, right? So, and you might have even gone through hard periods in your life, not just you, Kat, like talking to everyone in the moment for a second, of like, you know, where you're like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, they're literally like, there is a part of you dying, definitely, especially if you've gone through a huge change, but then also you could be passing one of these points. Like you feel that and you say that, but you know you're not going to go anywhere. You wouldn't go there, but it sometimes feels like that. You're like, oh, what's the point? Or, you know, all those thoughts, right? But you don't actually take action on them. So there's 5 exit points, yeah? And so it just feels like that she, like, yeah, trust yourself, because I feel there is a purity and an innocence. Like, I feel like, I want to say her soul learned fast, in a sense of like, she'll be coming back, because there's certain things that, I don't know if she needs to learn again. I just feel like, I want to say she's very fast. So she's very, very fast, right? Does your soul find peace when suicide is involved? No, not always. So like, and I've been shown a lot over the years, and I feel very blessed to have supported a lot of people through loved ones who have committed suicide and had many mediumship sessions that the soul has come back. And it's kind of, I want to say surprising, it's taught me a lot. So no, the souls not always find peace. So when somebody commits suicide, and this is what I always say to you guys, if somebody has passed over into the other side, to the other world, it does not mean that they're like this so like amazing, beautiful angel, and their guidance and their words should be taken as gospel now. Like, that's not the case. That soul and that person is exactly the same as when they left this planet, okay? Whether they died of their own hand or they died in other causes, they've still got the same issues, the same relationship patterns, the same hurts and pains and all that sort of stuff. Like, hurts, pains, and gains, like this, it's exactly the same. The only thing that's different is that they are more conscious and they see more clearly about all those issues. So the things that can happen is when they, you know, for example, let's talk suicide, if a soul crosses over on the other side, the issues of the reasons that they left still carry over with them. They're not magically cured and they're magically like, you know, healed, right? Like, and again, it depends on the soul's evolution. So this is, everybody's different, okay? Everybody's different, everybody's like shifted, right? So when you say Kat, you know, it feels like she's coming, you know, you've been wondering if she's coming back, and I'm like, it feels like that, right? And this is where there's no path that's a linear, and every soul's growth and evolution is always different, right? So when we look at, so I'll just speak to Kat for a second. So thanks, that's what I'm feeling. She's learnt what she needed to, processed what she needed, and she's ready to come back for this next period, ready to be here for this new awakening as such. Yeah, it feels like she's shifted fast through whatever, you know, definitely, for sure. So Carolina says, would you say that the soul can get a second chance, or is that not allowed? Well, it's interesting, right? So this particular experience that I had with a client and her partner that left, it was interesting because he, you know, and I learned so much of that whole experience and many others, of course, but I was like, this is where it taught me a lot. And I always knew that they're not magically cured when they get on the other side. Like, sometimes if a soul's evolution and growth it happens, right? And this is what we're feeling with Kat's sister, yeah, really fast, right? Like, people are willing to grow when they're willing to grow, and people who are not willing to grow just stay in that space, right, with that same support. So when I was working with this client, like, this particular soul, like, was still in that real heavy, dark, I want to say dark, depressed, crying all the time space, like just carrying so much trauma and so much stuff on the other side still. Like, and this is where, you know, this is why I train certified intuitive healers in trust and intuition, right? This is where I give you these skills and all the whys, because you can go and get a mediumship reading and say, yeah, they're happy and they're fine and they're loving on the other side. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, okay? There's nothing wrong with being that either. But if you don't understand the depths of dynamics, and we spoke about this in the third eye chakra week, right? If you don't understand the depths and the dynamics and understanding trauma and understanding the lineage and understanding all of that, when you step into a mediumship session, you're not just counseling and you're not just helping the person who's asking about the person who's deceased. You are also counseling the soul on the other side. And if you do not know what to do with the soul on the other side, I want to say you're doing a disservice to your gift, to humanity, to all the people involved, right? So when we look at like a soul that is past, you know, and on the other side, like, they have a chance to grow and evolve rapidly, just like we do on this planet today. Just when we're still alive, we also have a choice and a willingness and a, you know, a pathway to walk with that, right? So Elena, I haven't finished with you either. I trust that you're still here. So you have to clear and clean every soul. Every soul is different, right? So some people commit suicide because they don't want help, right? The reality is that they don't want help. You know, when there's like the suicide hotline and whatever, it's like, well, yeah, some people call that, I'm sure. But the ones who actually go, they don't want help. Like, the feeling of suicide is that they don't want help. No one or nothing can anchor them here. Not a sorry, not an apology, like, rarely, right? It takes a lot more than that, because usually at that point, they're that deep in it, right? And so when a soul passes in that state, depending on the soul, do they shift and grow and evolve and step out of that space, or they're still in it? Sometimes there's less support on the other side unless we're praying for their support on the other side to journey and to grow and help that soul on the other side, right? So, so really important to know that, yeah, there's different experiences. So I don't know where I was going with that, but anyway, obviously I had to say that. So Stephanie says, always know when my brother is around because I get depressed and have those thoughts of self-harm, and I know it's not me, but as soon as I meditate it and smudge, it goes away. Yeah. So if he passed away like that, you're picking him up, right? You're feeling him. And so, for example, as you can see, like with that, it's number one, and this again, just differentiating between, is he showing you that he's around? Like that's his, like, I want to say, way of letting you know he's around, right? Because you know, say for example, that's how he passed away and he was always depressed. And so he knows that, I want to say he wants you to know that you're around, he's around, because you start feeling like that. That's his like, hey sis, I'm around, right? Now, yes, you can smudge and clear and do all that, and that's important, right? Aside from that, he might still be feeling that way on the other side. And this is where I was saying they're not magically healed all the time. It really depends on the soul's willingness and journey and path itself, just like in this lifetime. And the other thing with that is that he might still be feeling that, or he's just making you quote unquote feel that, like that's how your intuition's talking to you too, by the way, but that's how you recognize him. And so number one, he's either still feeling that way on the other side, or that's how he makes you aware that he's around, because you know when you feel that way, that's him, right? Just because he's made you aware of him like that doesn't mean he's still in that space. Like I said, he could be, but the other piece is there could be a communication that he just wants to say hi, basically, right? So you can always have that communication with him, and I'm sure, I trust that you know that as well. So yeah, Kat, that's your message for you. Interesting, we're talking about mediumship here. Would you say that a soul can get a second chance, or is that not allowed? Like, I don't think it's not that it's not allowed. It's more, it depends on the person's willingness. It depends on the person's soul. It depends on, you know, what they choose to do. Just like in this lifetime, how we can't tell anybody what to do because they don't listen to us in a way, right? Do you know what I mean? Exactly the same. The relationship dynamics do not change when somebody passes over. They're exactly the same, all right? Lisa says, love you girls, so amazing, thank you. Stephanie says, your aura is so illuminating, thank you so much. Does your soul find peace when suicide is involved? Like, does our soul, do you mean? Or do you mean like if a person suicides, does that soul find peace? Not always. That's what I've been discussing. Like, it really depends whether that person, that soul still wants to be helped. There's souls that I've seen on the other side that are still in the depressed state, and they just kind of go, I want to say almost deeper into a dark abyss. It's not really like that, but it's just like they're just still alone, like, you know, and depending on the soul's journey, and again, this depends on your skill and level of understanding of all this stuff and how you've been trained as a medium, or the medium that you're seeking, right? That this, like, depending on the soul of you also knowing that person's soul's journey and where they're going, where they could be going, what you need to do to support them, to help when you are in contact with them, right? It's so important. Okay, just checking these comments here. Okay. The depth of despair can be so strong, there is no other option. Yeah, there's always an option, of course. But it feels like that. It feels like that in those moments. And this is why, again, I'm passionate about teaching people how to travel their emotions, that crying is okay, that being down on the kitchen floor, curled up in a ball with the deepest grief, that you can't take another breath, like that, like that crying, you know, when we hit that level of grief, that is okay. That is normal. Society has taught us that it's not normal. The more people that understand that grief and that level of feeling in the depths of despair is okay, that will like halve the amount of suicide on the planet. Like, it will immediately. And this is why I'm so passionate about it, because if we don't know how to consciously feel our emotions, and that it's okay to fucking be emotional, that changes everything. It changes everything because we're taught as society that it's not okay to feel. We're taught as society that all the trauma and everything that we've been carrying, it's not okay to deal with. It's not okay to feel, right? And if everyone could understand that, you know, supporting those emotions, honestly, the suicide rate would halve, right? Definitely. I feel so strongly about that, right? And I see, like, you know, I understand they probably work, right? Around, like, if you're feeling suicidal, call the suicidal helpline. Like, every time I see that shit, I'm like, man, people don't want to be helped. Like, you're speaking to them in the wrong language. You are, right? Because they're just like, someone else wants to help me, yeah, right. As if. Nobody's there for me. I don't fucking have been. What are you talking about? No. Biggest healing is someone being heard. Nobody's heard in their feelings. Everyone's like, oh, it's all right, just go to work, you're fine. Like, nah. No. If you do not acknowledge how somebody is feeling, that is like the worst thing you can do for them. You know, if they're like down in the dumps, and you're like, oh, it's okay, it'll get better. Like, no. No, you just need to sit there with them and say, this really must be so hard for you right now, and I'm here. And I can't believe that happened to you, because I would be feeling that down as well. It's like the worst thing that could have happened to somebody. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. I'm here for you, and I'm not going anywhere till you feel better. Yeah, changes everything. Okay. So Doreen said, wouldn't they come to you in a more beautiful way than that? Not necessarily. Spirits and souls will turn up in a way that you recognize them. Yeah, always. So maybe they'll be more beautiful if that's how you feel that they would come to you. They will turn up more beautiful. But spirits and souls will come in a way that will, that you will recognize them. Yeah. So Stephanie says, I tell him, hey, I know you're here, but it's getting a little overwhelming, and it stops. Yeah. And so you might say to him now, like, you know, like you don't have to do this, of course, but just as an example, Stephanie, you could say like, hey, as you said, you know, it's getting a little overwhelming. You could say like, hey, when you turn up, I know and recognize that it's you. Is there a different way that you could turn up that I know and recognize it's you without feeling that? Because I know it's you, but I know there's other ways that I know it's you too. So can we work with that? Because that's overwhelming me, not supportive for me. Is there a way that we can communicate that doesn't make me feel like that in a way, right? And then obviously you could go from there. Like, are you still feeling like that? Like, how can I help you, or what do you need? Yeah. And then you could call on the angels or a spirit guide for him or something like that could help heal him. Yeah. So welcome, Kat. Okay, let's check this out. Yes, would be nice to hear that, honestly, to be heard. A lot of the times when I'm with people, and a lot of people come in and they say, you know, like, they're like, nobody can heal me, counselors don't work. And I'm like, yeah. And like within 10 minutes, we've shifted stuff that's been stuck for a lifetime. This is my gift. And honestly, a lot of it is being heard. So at the call like that I had on Thursday with a client was just, they're like, I actually haven't been heard by anyone except you now. And I feel like something's shifted because of it. I'm like, yeah, this is the biggest healing. And this is what I teach you in Trust Intuition, is how to hear people, how to hear yourself. And then of course we can do the other work if it's still required. But a lot of people haven't been heard in their life, and it's like one of the biggest healing things that needs to happen on this planet. Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. So Elena, back to you with, I'm not dead, but you're like, this relationship. So moving out of mediumship now for this second in time. That was really strong for Kirsten? Just checking the name, because Kat, not Kristen or Kirsten. Kat. So this is for Elena now. So the relationship that you've just had a big falling out with, or fallen out with you, it's like, you're dead to me. Like, this is the feeling, like, because the relationship, I'm not dead. Like, no, they're still alive. And I picked that up. And then you said, yeah, it's like, they're dead to me. And so I'm just curious, like, what was that I don't know if it was an intimate relationship. Was it like a mother, or I know for Kat it was a sister. Was it a mother or was it an intimate relationship, Elena? Okay. So, and Elena, I want to say, like, did it dissipate? Did they leave you? Did it, like, is it just, I want to say it feels like you were fighting about the same stuff. And the entrepreneur card has just come out. Intimate, okay. I wonder if it's something about a mother. I wonder if that's the mother wound. There was a lot of sort of, well, it was masculine and feminine balance healing in that full moon ceremony that we just came out of, that was so freaking powerful. But the reason that, I want to say it feels like this keeps happening, Ilana. It keeps happening. It's like a repetitive freaking pattern. It's like, oh, here we go again. Like, you're fucking dead to me though. Like, it's like, it feels final. It feels like the biggest like thing. It just feels like the end of the world. It's like, nah, totally done. On a break, their choice. Okay, I had a feeling that they walked away from you. This here, right? And it feels like for you with a sense of like on a break, but it's like the card of like, I'm not dead, but you're dead to me. That's the sort of energy. Like it feels very cut and very like, even though it's just a break, like it's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, like again. But the reason I want to say is you're an entrepreneur, i.e. your life purpose is birthing, and that's quote unquote why this keeps happening. Don't know if it's the same thing that keeps happening. It does feel like it's a repetitive pattern, but your life purpose is trying to birth out of you. Now it's interesting because the I am not dead, but the bottom card is we will be together again. So even for Kat as well, we will be together again is like, I want to say it could be confirming her coming back in very soon too. But for Alana, I'm just like, maybe it is a break and maybe, you know, he will be back or something. But this is the bigger reason that this keeps happening. Yeah. I'm honoring their boundaries, but story of my life. So the commitment that you need to make is actually the commitment to your purpose now. So I want to say, like, what is it that you've been putting off? What do you put off? What do you, you know, like, what is it that you have, what's the word? What do you put on the back burner every time you get back in a relationship with them is what I would be saying. And that is what needs to have the full commitment too, because then you're going to attract someone who is in that full commitment rather than not. Yeah, that's what that feels like. So what do you keep putting off? Yeah, yourself, your own healing. Yeah, and that awakens something else, something deeper. Yeah. So keep keep working on that. Oh, that was the bottom card of the deck. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. The time for you is here. The time for healing is here. Yeah, because and it's almost like when you say the story of my life, and this is where I feel like, oh, you're dead to me. Like, it's just like, just go away then, you know, in a sense. Even though it's really hard, it feels like. And the other piece about that is, so your own healing will heal the repetitive patterns, which I know you probably know that, and that's like a no-brainer, right? But yeah, it feels like that for you, for sure. All right, so can I please have another round of yes, pleases? Yeah, what deck is that? So the mediumship deck that I've been using is the Talking to Heaven by Doreen Virtue and James Van Prague. And then the other one I was just using then is the Daily Guidance from Your Angels by Doreen Virtue. I have a lot of Doreen Virtue cards. I loved Doreen Virtue when she was doing her thing. I kind of still love her. I still love her cards. I obviously still use them a lot. Even though she's gone all anti-Christ. She's gone, you know, full anti it, but I'm just like, oh, she's just on her journey, and I still love her stuff. I still love her cards. Still resonate with them, that's for sure. The messages don't change just because a person does. I don't know if that makes sense, but anyway. My moon water. Yeah, I love her cards too. All right. So we're going to move to some different cards now. We just talked about that. The Moonology cards. I love these cards as well. Let's have a look here. I see some yeses coming up. All right. Who is this card for? If you guys would like to book a private psychic reading, you can do so for sure. I'll just pop the link in the comments here as well. Okay. All right, whoever these cards are coming for, this is deep and generational healing. What we just did in the full moon ceremony, it's very, I want to say generational healing. Like I said before, it was very masculine, feminine healing. A lot of generational healing in a sense of, so the pine trees are really coming to mind for this person who I'm about to read cards for. But maybe that resonates with more people. All right, it's gonna pin this comment. So if you'd like to book a personal psychic reading, the link is there. We're celebrating 5 years of reality awareness online for July. So let me scroll through these now. These yeses. All right, awesome. Thank you. I love my moon tattoo too. Okay. All right, so for Megan Underwood and Skylight, I'm reading two people. Seems to be. All right, so a new start is coming, new moon, and step out of your comfort zone. So Megan, that's kind of interesting because I know what we just did in the full moon ceremony and what came up for you. The step out of your comfort zone and new beginnings. So this here, Megan, looks like it's new moon, right? But the darkness is the yin, it's the abandonment, it's those things. Skylight, step out of your comfort zone. It's time for you to step into your light. I want to say it feels like you've been hiding a little bit. It feels like, so this is the North Node, that your future, I want to say, oh, I'm sorry guys, I'm doing this back to front. Your future is coming. I want to say the North Node is all about our future. For Sky, I feel like, I want to say stop trying to force it, you know, it feels like, I want to say it feels like you're forcing it in the wrong direction. And it's like your future is coming. Like, why are you trying to force this thing that's not like working? Like, let go of what's not working, right? And step out of your comfort zone into the thing that you know you need to do, and it will be easier than what it seems, right? Is that big strong sense there. And then Sky, the generational healing for you is that, like, are you stepping out of a family lineage? Are you stepping out of your comfort zone of the family system of doing what you were told and doing what, you know, like your parents thought you should do, or whatever the story is like that, or what your partner thinks you should do, and actually just doing what your future is calling you, what your destiny is calling you. But you're going to have to get uncomfortable to do that. Like, stop trying to force this thing that's not working, and then like step into this thing that's going to make you really uncomfortable, and you're scared because you think you're going to lose everybody, right? But what you're going to lose is all the shit you've been carrying for that system. And I want to say, I feel like you've lost your freedom because you haven't been following your destiny or something like that, right? It's like, step out, like break out of that cycle. It's okay to do that, something different that your soul is calling you to do. For Megan, the generational shift there, I feel like is shifting the abandonment for the entire lineage. I feel like that, you know, with the pine trees, so pine trees really healing of the generational trauma, which is so interesting because the pine needle tea is being recommended to a lot of people on the planet right now for certain colds that are going around and that sort of thing. So pine needle tea is very, very healing. The pine needles is healing generational stuff. It's kind of interesting what we're clearing out on a lineage, on a collective, right? But there is a new beginning that's coming with that, Megan, for you. And interesting, the win-win forecast is the bottom card. So the Libra, the full moon in Libra, and it feels like everything is coming back into balance, but there is a clearing coming, but the light is here. Yeah, the light is here now, but it's like the light, as the full moon grows, it's going to shift. It'll shift everything back into balance, which again is what we just did in the full moon ceremony. And I know you were there, Megan. So Sky, step out and break out of those family systems. That's definitely what that's about. All right, so Sky says, thank you so much, dear, for your beautiful messages. Yes, you're welcome. Yes, you are right. Thank you for sharing your beautiful gift with everyone. I am right, yes. Well, you said you were right. So we're gonna have some more yes pleases. That would be great. Perfect. Love it. All recalibrating. Yes. Yes, you're so welcome, Megan. All right, so who is this card for? Okay, so okay, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Is it Guadalajara? Zella. Your last name is Zella. I'm just gonna say Zella, because that's just easier for me. Your name jumped out at me before, actually. And this card here, the get more information, this deck was really calling, get more information. So whatever you're curious about, get more information. But I also feel like you're in a very big learning phase at the moment. I feel like now's not the time to push forward. Now's the time to kind of retreat back and learn for you at this time. And don't stop. I was like, okay, don't push forward. But I feel like don't, it's a very interesting similar message to what I just read for Skylight. It feels like don't drop your passion. Like, why are you listening to other people? Like, don't stop doing what you want to do because of what somebody else said. Like, and get more information. Like, keep your study, keep your learning, like keep your growing and learning on your passion and your focus. Like, why are you listening to these outside people that are like telling you to not do that thing because it's like what you should have done ages ago, or because that's going to be approval in their eyes? Like, I feel like get more information. Like, you needing support right now to head in the direction that your heart and soul is calling to do. So this it feels like a big triangle of light here. Oh, sorry, it's back to front. This big triangle of light is like, what's the word? I'm hearing like back to front, upside down. So it feels like you've flipped your intuition on its head and listening to other people, and now's not the time to do that. Your intuition is awakening. Your goddess self, your intuition is activating right now, and it's so important that you get support in this area. Like, study more in that area. Like, it should be, I want to say, a big focus for you right now, and don't stop that because of what someone else said. Yeah, so that feels like a message for you. And I know you guys are just putting yes pleases, so I'll just pull from this this line that we have here. All right, the goddess cards. I think I used these for Tuesday Tarot this week, actually. You don't need approval for anyone. Go your own path. Exactly. All right, so Lisa Brooks. This is for Lisa. It was just there, so here it is. Same thing. Strong message for you guys. Diana, focused intention. So keep your unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions focused on your target, and you will make your mark. So Lisa, for you in particular, I feel like you're just about to hit your goals. You're just about to achieve something that you've been working on for a long time. I want to say turn away from the past. Turn away from what keeps pulling you back. Only let the arrow be pulled back right now, because you're going to hit your goal, but you can't look back. You can't, like, these mountains in the distance, like behind her, are really jumping out at me. So whatever was on a mountain, whatever seems like a mountain, can you just not even look at it anymore? Like, stop putting focus on it. Stop turning back. Like, why are you focused on the past is what I want to say. You were so close. Do not let anything distract you from pulling that bow back and letting go and it flying, right? I feel like you're so close to your goal. So look, endings and beginnings. So you're confirming that the old must be released so the new can enter. Stop friggin' looking back. Stop pulling up the past. That's what that feels like, right? The new must enter, but the old has to be released for that to happen. So yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, makes huge sense. Thank you. Starting to tongue twist my words after that ceremony and then jumping straight on you for readings. But it was so strong what came through in the full moon ceremony, and I'm actually going to use these cards next. All right, so I know you guys just put yes pleases in. Let me go from that list again. And who is this for? Let's see. Okay. So Josephine and Delana. Is Delana here? Is Delana still here? And Josephine. Is Josephine still here? Oh yes, Delana's still here. I saw your comment back up, but you did it again. Okay, so Josephine, I'm trusting that she's still here too. Yep. So Josephine, perception. So I know we just pulled this card in the full moon ceremony as well. Perception, very much about the third eye, seeing the truth. Okay, this might sound a bit silly, Josephine. It feels that you're looking too far into the future right now. It feels like your perception needs to be pulled back into the now. It feels like there's too much focus on the future, but almost like the far, far future. It's almost like you're too far out. Now, it's awesome to ground in a big vision. It's awesome to ground in like your entire life. Like that's important. But then we need to come back to now and take the action steps into the now for what's going to move us forward into that big vision. So ground it in, but then pull yourself back to now. What is the next step you need to take now? So it's all good to have a big dream, big vision, but are you actually taking steps every day for that to happen in the now? Does that make sense? And the B is deeply connected to the goddess, but luck, industriousness, and sweet victory. So there is abundance, there is that, but the bee needs the hive to ground the structure to make the honey, right? So the everyday structure, are you working on that big vision, or are you just stuck in the mundane, got to get this day done? Like, you know what I mean? So really making time for the big vision in the now of the steps to get there, right? So that one's for you. Yeah, makes so much sense. Yes. So Delana, the goblin, the wounded human ego. So I'm wondering if you've gone through some heartbreak lately, or there's more like a tusk energy around you, like, oh, for goodness sake, like that sort of an energy. And I'm wondering, like, is there someone around you who does that to you, or is that more a childhood thing that's surfacing for you to come up and out? I'm curious about that. You know, like that, oh, for goodness sake, like, you know, that, what are you talking about? Like, as if you know what you're talking about. Like, do you have someone around you doing that? I'm curious. Because really harsh sort of energy like that. But I wonder if you're feeling hurt and you're just like, oh, for fuck's sake, whatever's, like, you know, curious with that. Mel says, great readings, resonating with me too. Yes. Josephine says, time for me to ground by doing everyday action things now to get there. Yep, 100%. Again, it's those micro moments. And if we're not taking daily steps, we're not going to ground in the big vision. So just waiting for Delana to share about that. Like, who's doing that to you? Like, whatever. I feel like everyone thinks of me like that. Okay, this is important. And that's why I was like, is this a childhood thing coming up? So when we're a child, we can have someone around us who does that. Now, they don't necessarily have to say it by voice. If they've got that energy and they're like, if you know, like, whatever's, right? Like, you know, that can just be an energy. It doesn't have to be a physical voice that says it in a way. As a child, we absorb that, right? And because you said, I feel like everyone thinks of me like that, definitely childhood stuff coming out, up and out. So on my website, I'm not sure if you have it or not, is the inner child meditation. Working with that inner child meditation will help to shift that out. It's awesome when we become conscious of this sort of stuff. And I'm wondering if you feel like everyone thinks of you like that, that's always been the way for you, or whether like that's just starting to be really strong for you lately. I'm curious like that as well. So Lisa says, yes, I've lived like that and absorbed it. Yeah, it's strong, isn't it? We do. And then we're like, our self-worth like creeps in, and we're like, I don't know if shy is the word, but we like do our thing and we're like, oh, immediately like close back down again, or we just don't even open, right? And so with the wounded human ego, like this inner child healing, that can definitely shift that out. I pulled the B again. I just shuffled that and the same card came out as well. So the luck, industriousness and sweet victory. So it makes me wonder then, Delana, are you working on something, a goal or something like that, right? And this is what's starting to surface really strongly, or whether that's just, you know, a thing. And I feel like this pattern is being lifted, being released, like it's coming up and out, because whatever it is that you are working on or creating in your life, and creating a solid structure for your life, is like, this is the next thing that's being shifted out to allow this next level to rise. Does that make sense? So yeah, I would definitely work with inner child healing around that as well, to help like shift that out, because that's not how everyone thinks about you. But as a child, there's probably one dominant person that constantly feels like that around you. Or if it's like in this lifetime, in this like everyday life, there could be a boss or someone like that. My marriage and people don't approve. Okay, yeah. So again, like if you clear out that childhood pattern, those feelings of people not approving get less. They'll still think like that because we can't change the way people think, right? But if we like work on that, where we were wounded with that when we were a child, and clear that, then their stuff doesn't affect us as much anymore. And that gives us freedom to be, I want to say, happy in the space without feeling guilty, because all we're doing is feeling everyone else's judgments about it, and that's not a nice space to be in. So yeah, definitely work with that for sure. So inner child healing. If you do get the inner child meditation, there's 5 videos in there. Please make sure you watch them to understand how to really work with that to heal the inner child on a deep level. Yeah, you're so welcome. The music is so peaceful. Yeah, this is one of the tracks that I created specifically for one of the full moon ceremonies, not this one today, but one of them. I put all the pieces together. It's like about 4 or 5 tracks together in it, and created it, and it was such a journey, that one, and it's so beautiful, right? It's like everything, like I just intuitively put it together. I was like da 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 da, and then like through the journey, I was like, the music changed as I said the right words, and I'm like, man, you couldn't have planned that. I was just like, oh my god. Oh, such a gift. It's a gift, and I'm grateful for my gift. All right, who is next? So if you'd like to book a psychic reading one-on-one, the link is there. So I am so wise. Thank you. Oh, Leanne says, I remember that one. That was so mind-blowing. I know. I was thinking about that before this one, and I was like, have I re-recorded that yet? I don't know that I have, because I don't know if it was too long ago. Anyway, I'm gonna have to check, because I'm like, I needed to record that one. I haven't done some recordings for a while, so I don't think that I have yet. So it's coming. I don't think I have. Anyway, I'm gonna have to check it out. Thank you. Really receiving that about I'm so wise and my gift, and really letting that in. So thank you. Deeply received. All right. So yes, pleases. Brittany. Archangels. Life review. I know you've just come out of Transcendence with us. We're just doing that last week of Transcendence right now. Archangel Jeremiel, take inventory of your life and resolve to change or heal anything that's unbalanced. So specifically what's coming up, Brittany, and I know we've worked together, so I don't know if I asked you to do this when we worked together. However, the specific thing, so do a life review on your relationships. For some reason, this is important. Again, maybe you've already done this. So your current last intimate relationship, and then every intimate relationship you've been with, right? You could differentiate between relationships and sexual partners, if that's relevant or not. And do a life review around, like, you can write out 10 bad things that happened and 20 good things that happened. Or just let yourself do a purge on the bad things, but then rewrite it with the positive things as a way of like healing and clearing out that relationship. This can be a big process. Don't take this lightly. Okay. A bit like when we do the clearing every sexual partner ritual from our womb, and it's really big energetically. So it can be really healing, but it's big. Something about, I know your goals for Transcendence. So something about the house move that you were, I don't want to say it, I know we're public here. So the move, this is going to help clear out the stuff for the move. Yeah. You need to do that again. Yeah. So we can definitely do it on layers, but there's something in that, and that's specifically because we can do a life review about so many things, right? But that's specifically what's coming up with that. So asking Archangel Jeremiel specifically as well to help you for some reason, and Raguel as well will really help with that. Interesting, the spiritual understanding. So doing this life review, as I said, there's something in that. It's going to give you insight maybe to your life purpose, to your gift, to something relevant that's coming out of those relationships. So Archangel Raziel brings you esoteric information and symbols and helping you understand the spiritual truth. So he is like the translator, if you may, for taking spiritual information and putting it into conscious understanding for you, right? Which is, he's like my right-hand man working with him. So yeah, that one's for you, Brittany. Yes. Lucy says, I'm struggling right now, but have been so good. Yes, so what deck is this? This is the Archangel deck, the Archangel Oracle. I love this one. So gentle and soft, but powerful. Yeah, so Doreen's Archangels. So I just want to say to, who was it? Lucy. So Lucy, it's like peak full moon right now. Yeah, so it's peak full moon energy right now. If you're not feeling in a good space, just know that everything's amplified in this space right now of the full moon. So yeah, just being mindful of that. Pedro, I know you said before about my black cat. That's one of them. I actually have 9 cats. Sorry, that's just one. That's Bear. My bear. He's always by my side. I do mediumship. Yeah, so in a psychic reading, if you book a psychic reading with me, for me, like, and this is what I say about being an intuitive healer, we learn all the skills, because at the end of the day, we've all got the skills. If you're a psychic, you're also a medium. They're just different labels. And the different labels, you can just focus on that and solely do that as your gift, right? Being a medium, for example. But as an intuitive healer, as a psychic, you also have the gift of being a medium, because when you're in a psychic reading, dead people could turn up, right? Like spirits turn up, the souls turn up. You need to know the skills to what to do with when they turn up. And this is why I teach in Trust Intuition to become a certified intuitive healer. You learn these skills, because there's no point in learning how to be a psychic and then not knowing what to do when a spirit turns up. Like, that's super important, and it's unethical to be taught if you're not gonna do, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I get so agitated about it. Of like, if you're gonna learn, not just to you guys, but for people who, you know, I guess will teach or train people, and they don't teach them the skills to do the whole thing, because I'm like, this happens if you're psychic and in tune, you have to know what to do, right? Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked because I'm so damn passionate about that. So the point is that, yes, I do anything in the psychic readings, right? We can do mediumship, we can do past life healing, we can do childhood trauma healing, we can do timeline therapy, we can do anything in a psychic reading, because it's all relevant. And the thing about a psychic reading is that I'm an intuitive healer. Like, anything that's required in the space will surface and will come up. And so it's, yeah, whatever's needed. So yeah. Can we sign up for your teaching through your website? Yeah, so Trust Intuition to become a certified healer is my main course. It's this year, like we're currently in it at the moment, so it's not open right this second. But that's like the big course. That's where I do, and I'm starting to do it as live. So this is the first year I'm running it live over 12 or 15 weeks, not decided yet. We're in the middle of it now. Doing live trainings over 12 weeks over Zoom. And this is teaching you all the skills, yeah? So it's called Trust Intuition to become a certified healer. You don't have to step into doing the healer stuff like in your business when you've done that course. Like, you don't have to do that, but you do have the opportunity to do that. And I was thinking about this before earlier today, actually. It's a bit like when I trained to be a yoga teacher. I didn't do it to become a yoga teacher. I did it for personal development, because I was like, oh, I'm not going to be a teacher. Like, what? You know, like, it just, I don't know, it just didn't even call me, right? But I did the yoga teacher training for personal development, and I fell into yoga teacher training, right? And now look at where I am. So, yeah, so you can definitely do, like the course. And then I've got lots of mini courses that teach you like the basic skills. Trust Intuition sort of takes it to the next level, of course, and you learn all the skills. And then there's my advanced intuitive healer training, which is still in the process of creation right now. But yeah, there's just different levels. It's a bit like going to kindergarten, primary school, high school, TAFE, university, becoming a master or a professor, right? As with any industry and with any skill or career path, there's different like levels and stages, right? You can learn how to swim so you don't drown, or you can become an Olympic swimmer, right? And they all require different trainings and skills and time and dedication and all those pieces, yeah? So yeah, definitely can learn. This is one of my passions. My passion is teaching you guys how to do it so you don't have to, you know, continually wait, you know, until you go and see a healer, you know, or like I'm passionate about teaching you how to heal yourself, because if you understand your energy and if you understand what to do to heal yourself, you're going to be able to help more people in the world. I can't save 8 billion people, right? But I can help you, and you can help, you know, however many people you can help. And if there's lots of us doing that, well, then we are going to save the world from all this crap that's going on, right? Awesome. Yes, you're so welcome. Yeah, I get passionate about it. It's what I do. Can you timeline jump like teleporting? Yes, I believe that we can. Lucy says, yes, my ears are sore. So the ear chakra consciousness is what I'm currently filming at the moment in Rapid Ascension Awakening. And this is like the missing chakra on the planet, right? That's one of the advanced trainings. So the ears, when they open, we start to receive. Now, I did the chakra consciousness journey just recently. So if you scroll back on my page, or if you want to watch the ear chakra consciousness, just type in ears below, Lucy, if you wanted to, and that might help you. I'm feeling like just listening to the ear chakra consciousness we did a few weeks back, for some reason, that might just help with whatever you're going through. You might hear the messages that you need to hear to support you right now. All right, so let's have a look here. Let's save the world. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Empower the world to heal themselves. All right, so another round of yes, pleases. I know that you were putting them in, I think. Yeah, so another yes, pleases. Awesome. All right, who is this for? Okay, so this is for Deanne. Deanne and Tammy Barnes. So Deanne and Tammy. So Deanne, first of all, this one, take your time making this decision. So I'm like, halt, wait on, more information is coming. I feel like you've made up your mind, but I feel like just let it play out. The sense of humor card is the bottom card of the deck, and I feel like you've walked through this before. I want to say just let it play out. I feel like you don't need to do anything, but just continue to hold your ground, and be true to yourself with what you need to do. But I feel like it's going to work itself out. I don't feel like there's anything you need to push or change, or just do you, is the sense that I'm getting there around that. I just put another card, and it's forgive yourself, you've done nothing wrong. And this is where I feel like, take your time. Like, I feel like it'll work itself out. Like, more information, it'll just unravel itself, is what it feels like. You just hold your truth, but you didn't do this. This is not on you, right? This is not on you. You might have been involved, but at the end of the day, the truth is it wasn't on you. So can you stop being hard on yourself? Because that's not on you. Yeah. And I feel like the sense of humor is like, can't you see this? That wasn't you, honey. Right? So whatever that is. And then for Tammy, guarded and protected, feels similar message to Deanne, of course, and that's why I usually pull the two people at the same time. Yep, so guarded and protected. So for Tammy, guarded and protected, and lean on God and the angels for support, which is similar to Deanne, like just step back, you don't have to do anything, like that wasn't on you. And so more so for Tammy with the guarded and protected and lean on God and the angels for support, like I want to say connect into your higher sources, connect into you feeling safe enough to be able to take the action that you do need to take, actually. So the romance angels is the bottom card for this one, and this is all about self-love. So this is about taking your power back and getting into a place where you feel connected to God and spirit, and even physical support. So maybe you need some physical help today, like, you know, like in the, you know, someone who supports you to get strong, to feel connected, to know that you are worthy of receiving help, because I feel like you do need to leave a situation that is not in alignment with you anymore. And I feel like you know that deep down, but I feel like you're not feeling supported or safe enough to take action on that yet. But this is about leaning on the angels. This is about leaning into self-love. This is about knowing that you are worthy of those things that you desire, that your intuition is telling you that you know you need to do. But the first step is feeling safe enough. So reaching out for support, meditating, getting your strength up physically, self-care, like getting yourself back in a good space, and then making the decision. You've already made the decision. Taking the action that you know you need to take. Yeah? That's your message for you, Tammy. All right, guys, I've been on live stream for ages, so I'm going to love you and leave you. If you would like to book a private psychic reading, like I said, any topic can be discussed on psychic readings, whether it is mediumship, just seeing what comes through, life purpose activations, past life healing. Maybe you don't know what you need to discuss, but you just know that whatever will uncover itself in the session will uncover itself, because I tell you what, it will. It will. So the link is pinned to the comments here, or you can find it on my page. You're so welcome, Tammy. You're so welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. So, yeah, Tammy says, yes, I have. Yep. I'm like, you've already made that decision, actually. Now it's just the time to get your strength up to take the action on that, right? Sometimes that's a process. Yeah, so be gentle with yourself with that. So Deanne says, exactly what I needed to hear. Yes. All right. So I'm just going to ban this person because, yeah, they're starting to come up. So I don't send you guys messages saying, hey, I can like do a reading for you, or hey, you've got this vibe and I can release this curse. Like, no. Just request that they get request that they get you can report them. Yeah, you can report them. So yeah. All right, I shall see you guys really soon.